Hi, my name is Scott. I want to tell you about my trip to the Podiatrist. That's the foot doctor. But before I can, you need to know why I needed to go to the foot doctor, and that story starts 12 years ago. Back in the Great Recession, I was working for the Boeing company. I'm retired now, and I fully enjoy it. I'm on the Oregon coast. I'm just thrilled to be here. Yeah, bad day at the coast is better than a good day at work, right? So, yeah, about a dozen years ago, I was supporting Boeing's 787 program. I was developing interfaces to collect configuration data. As you might know, the airplane itself was having all sorts of, Boeing was having all sorts of problems getting parts and suppliers to provide everything that they were supposed to. So the airplane physically was about 2 years late. I would guess information technology was probably about 1 year and 9 months late. So we were late, but we weren't as late as the airplane. But that didn't stop our chief IT executive from deciding that he'd help everybody out by having us IT people do our software releases on holiday weekends. So it didn't really matter what type of weekend. I mean, I worked New Year's Eve, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, and Easter Sunday once. In fact, that year, the companies like Walmart, Big Five, they were kind of publicly shamed into closing for Easter, but Boeing's IT department was open for Easter. So it was a stressful time. It's like you want to keep your job, you want to get the job done right. Everything's late, so all the bosses are really, really stressed out. The estimation for how long it would take to get everything going just kept slipping and slipping. That it kept looking worse and worse as more information became available. So it was a really stressful time. So that's why retirement works so well for me now. But back at that time, one of my stress relievers was to come home and I'd play video games. And my video game console at that time was the Nintendo Wii PlayStation. I had the Wii balance board, and there was a couple of games I enjoyed, and probably the one that I went to most was the snowball fight. And basically you stand on the Wii balance board. If you stand straight, then there's a snow blind in front of you and you can't really see the enemy coming at you, but they can't get to you either. And likewise, you can't get to them. So basically you have to shift your weight left or shift your weight right, and that gets you out from behind this tarp or snow blind that kind of prevents you from seeing anything from going on. Well, I'm a bigger guy, and I'm shifting my weight left and right kind of radically every 10, 12 seconds. It starts to take a little wear and tear on the feet, and I tended to play barefoot on this hard plastic balance board. And I noticed the repetitive stress injuries that I could get, because my feet occasionally would get a little sore after killing too many snowmen. So I'd just take a break, and sometimes it was a day or two, sometimes it was a week, but eventually I could get back around to killing the snowmen and reducing my stress. Well, at one point I must have had a bad stretch of it, and I killed way too many snowmen. I ended up hobbling down the stairs to go to bed. I was saying, well, at least in the morning it'll feel better. It did not feel better in the morning. So yeah, I gimped around for a couple of weeks, waiting to see what would happen. It did get better. It just didn't get much better. I probably went from 100% pain to 80% pain. But I waited another couple of weeks, and nothing really happened. So it's like, okay, time for the doctor. So back to work issues. You don't want to be missing work time, because that was really being monitored pretty closely. So I figured that maybe I could do it at lunch, or maybe I could do it after work, and minimize the amount of time away from work so that I can keep my job and get to retirement. Well, when I called the office, I picked an office that was like right on the route to work. They were like 10 minutes from work, and I figured, well, whether I'm coming or going, it'll be convenient. And When the gal started telling me appointment times, she told me that I could start as early as 7:30. And I'm thinking, well, great, my work start time is 7:30. You're 10 minutes away from my workplace. If I'm the first patient you see, I probably won't be much later than 30 minutes getting into work. And with Seattle traffic, that happens occasionally. It's no big deal. You just work through lunch or stay a little later. So I thought, well, this is great. This is perfect. So day of the appointment comes. I'm not much of a morning person. I don't do coffee. For me, it was I could get to work and I'd get a breakfast, and that's when I'd start to get going. So I'm not like the brightest person in the whole wide world at 7:30 in the morning, but that's when my office visit was. So I started doing the whole insurance, information. Who are you? Where do you live? Where do you work? Where's your insurance card? What are all the phone numbers? We got to the emergency medical contact, and they wanted a relative not living with you that they could contact in case of an emergency. But I'm thinking, it's just my foot. I don't know what you're doing to my foot, but my sister in New Jersey probably isn't going to be much help for me here in Seattle. So I left it blank. Well, the gal insisted that she had to have a contact, and eventually I gave out my sister's phone number. I was a little put out by that, but we went to the exam room, and I was, thinking, well, okay, they just want it for, in case I forget to pay my bill, as opposed to, if there's a medical emergency with a foot, somebody in New Jersey is going to help me. So the gal starts with the questions, and she says, well, why are you here today? It's like, well, my foot hurts. And it's like, well, where does the foot, or which foot hurts? Is it one or both? And I said, well, it's just the right one. And she says, where does it hurt? And it's like, well, it's up in the arch, not quite to the heel, but back towards the heel. She's like, okay, well, how long has it been hurting? And I said, it's been about 6 weeks now. She says, well, is it getting better or worse? And I said, well, it got better for a couple of weeks, but now it's just not getting any better. Just, are you taking anything for it, any meds? And I said, well, I've tried ibuprofen. It cuts the pain a little bit, but it doesn't really fix the foot. So that's why I'm here. And she says, well, do you think you did anything to hurt your foot? And I said, well, yeah, I think I hurt my foot playing with my Wii. At that point, she froze up and stopped asking questions. And I'm like, what did I say? So 7:30 in the morning, I rewind that little conversation. I go, do you think you did anything to hurt your foot? Oh, yeah, I hurt my foot playing with my Wii. All of a sudden, I have a whole set of random images in my head that have nothing to do with how you could hurt your foot doing that. I'm looking at her, and I think, yep, she's got all those random images too and doesn't know where to go. So I took a deep breath, slowed down, and I said, I think I hurt my foot playing on my video game, a Nintendo Wii PlayStation. And she took a deep breath and kind of cleared out whatever images she had in her head. And she said, okay, the doctor doesn't know about this. Let me go talk to him for a couple minutes. Well, she disappears. A couple minutes later, the doctor comes in. He is total grins and giggles. He was super helpful. I don't know, maybe he was always like that, but this morning he was just really happy to see me. So we did the whole foot thing. I ended up with a boot to sleep in, an elastic band to kind of hold up the arch area. They taped me up, got me new insoles. I mean, pretty much fixed me up pretty quick. Within, just the taping job the first day, it was like a 20% improvement. It was quick. So it was plantar fasciitis, and I got over it. So that was all good. Now I know my doctor, shortly after I saw him on that visit, he retired shortly after that, and I kind of imagine now he's in like some Arizona retirement community with other medical professionals, and they just sit around telling their patient stories, and I'm pretty sure my patient story is pretty much on the top of his list. So anyways, I know what you're thinking. You're wondering, gee, Scott, now that you're retired, do you still play with your Wii? And I have to say, yes, I do, but just in moderation. Okay, thanks for watching. Thanks, Mom. Love you. Bye.